Hello, everyone. Today, we're going to be introducing our guest from one of the companies we assisted in raising capital for. But again, my name is Warren Thomas. I am the CEO of Renewal International. As many of you know, one of our areas of business is that we assist companies in raising capital for whatever purpose. If you want to expand, you want to grow your business, or if you have a need to start a business. Oftentimes, as a startup company, many individuals find it difficult to raise capital because of a lack of track record. Well, we can assist you in raising whatever capital you need as a startup business, whether it's $50,000, $100,000, or $1 million. Not too many companies can do that, but we're positioned to also do that. Also, if you're in a situation where your credit is not the best, again, we have workarounds for established companies that have track records, that need capital but have a good cash flow. As long as you're depositing money of at least $10,000, $20,000 per month in your bank account, we can get you the money you need. So whatever your circumstances are, whatever your need is, capital is available. Rather than go through the front door of the lending institutions, we go through the side door. The requirements tend to be less onerous. The documentation tends to be less onerous versus going through the front door where you're required to produce tax returns, financial statements, and there you have to pledge all the collateral you have, and in some cases, your wife, your children, and your kitchen sink. You might as well throw that in there for good measure. With us, you're not going to need most of those things. What's going to be required of you, we're going to help structure you, position you, so that way you get the capital you need. In particular, my clients who are coming from the Black community, oftentimes many of you experience challenges in relationship to accessing capital. Friends, let me tell you, we are in a new time wherein that capital is available, and we should be in the position as a company to help you to get to where you need to in relationship to obtaining the financing you need. Today, I'd like to introduce to you my friend and a client of ours, Mr. Ulysses Kilgore of Let's All Connect Inc. Ulysses, are you on the line with us?
Yes, I am.
Good afternoon, Ulysses. How are you? Enjoying the day?
Okay, that's fine.
Great. Well, first of all, Ulysses, thank you for coming on and sharing with us in relationship to your experience going through the process of raising capital. For Let's All Connect, we raised a net of about $20,000. We were actually approved for a little over $60,000, but for the purposes of what Ulysses actually needed at this time, it was about $20,000. And hopefully, as the needs for Let's All Connect grows, we'll be in a position to help Ulysses acquire additional capital. Ulysses, what was your experience initially going through the process of raising the capital that you needed? Could you kind of briefly talk about that?
Well, prior to my meeting with you, Warren, we had reached the point where after tapping all of our resources, we had experienced a critical gap of about $20,000. And I know that for some it might seem like such a minor amount, but if you've tapped all of the available resources and that is the gap, I mean, that's very critical and it's not minor. But to make things happen, we had an opportunity to meet with you, and you gave us some assurance of your ability to be able to help us plug the so-called gap, and you did so within a short while. I might also add that I'd gone through my bank, and even though I had a substantial amount of monies in there because they are handling my investments, I went through their loan process, and that became tedious and prolonged. And time was of essence for us. We needed some money right away, and so with renewal, we were able to identify a source for the needed funds within about a week, and after just maybe about 3 phone calls and what have you, and supplying renewals contacts with some basic information, credit reports, and a few other things, and we were able to get notification that the funds were approved. So again, it was that $20,000 was very crucial in moving us forward. And as I indicated earlier, some people might have been inclined to have said, asked the question rather, well, look, that's all you needed, $20,000, but $20,000 is a lot of money after you've tried all the other possibilities, and we had exhausted them. I mean, our own personal friends, and after having tried to work something through my own bank, and I think that with my own bank, because I have a good credit rating, it would have eventually come through. But time, again, was of essence. We needed to move on something. I needed to move on something within a week. And I could see that in going through my bank, it was going to be several weeks that would be involved before I or we could have gotten the approval. I think the approval would have occurred, of course, but again, not soon enough for us to be able to act to make sure that we're able to move the business forward. And so, again, it was through Renewal's efforts that we were able to pull the pieces together, bridge the funding deficiency, and things now are looking very, very, very bright.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
So,
I want to touch on.
Yes.
I want to touch on something you just said was very important, and the fact that you did have capital resources in the bank that you currently bank with personally, and the fact that you are in good standing in relationship to your credit, but the level, the timetable it took them to fulfill the requirements that you had would not have been adequate for the time period that you needed to get the money to at least to deal with the circumstances that was going on at that particular time.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, I anticipate that the bank approval would have come within 2 weeks subsequent to the deadline date for which we needed the funding. So that would have been too late for me.
Exactly. A couple of the questions really quick. What was your experience with our team? Was our team very helpful in relationship to helping you process the documentation that you needed? Could you talk about that really quickly?
Yes. As a matter of fact,
I think you were helped by Joe and also Bianca. Am I correct?
Yeah. But what had happened is that I primarily dealt with you, Warren, and I did speak to Joe and Bianca, but I primarily dealt with you because you're the one who came to me and said, well, look, Ulysses, we need you to pull down your credit score so I was able to do that, and then there was some other few bits of information that were needed. And then you advised that I contact